Coco, it's time to ramble.
I got a list of topics to speak about. I got a list of questions to answer. Let's ramble. Welcome back to Stormin' Norman Says. I'm Stormin' Norman. That must mean I have some things to say. And if you're new here, we do this once a month. At least we have since December. And this is where I take all the things that I did not feel warranted a video and ramble on about them. Just like a greatest hits. Well, kind of not a greatest hits because they're things I didn't do a video on. Greatest almost hits. And I thought of 3 more things before I started that I'll probably forget. Today is opening day, and today the Gators play in their Sweet 16 game, so I couldn't decide. No Scally cap today, even though I do have one that's kind of orange and blue, but I don't like the way it looks on me. So we got the Gator hat. Go Gators, Colin. Because the Gators about to whoop up on Maryland in the Sweet 16. And we got Cleveland Guardians. I don't know if they're beating Kansas City. I don't. The crappy thing about being a Guardians fan is that I can't really watch them on TV because I'm out of market. And you can buy extra innings, which I'm not going to do. And all this other stuff you can pay to watch. I'm not paying to watch them, okay? We'll watch them when they come on when we can, but I ain't paying no extra money just to watch a baseball game. It's not like it's my favorite sport or anything. So when I get an itch to watch baseball, I watch the home team, Tampa Bay Rays. Anyway, enough on that. I want to start today. We're going to start with a thing, and then we're going to end with it. So I told y'all the other day I was supposed to be getting a fountain pen in the mail. And it came in the mail Tuesday, Wednesday, I don't remember what day it was. The Platinum Preppy. So I have heard so much about this. I thought it was disposable, but apparently I was wrong. It is not. So I've heard so much about this when I listen to the Pen Addict. This is what made me do it, was the Pen Addict podcast. They were talking about the Platinum Preppy and how it's a great beginner fountain pen for people because it's so cheap and it writes so good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, let me go see how cheap it is. So I went to Amazon and it's like $6. So I'm like, heck, I'll gamble on it for $6. Ain't gonna hurt my feelings. So I ordered it. And it came, and it's got a screw lid. Like, I did not think something this cheap would have a screw-on lid. Actually, that's not the screw-on lid. That was the body. My bad. Okay, it got me like that when it came in, too. Not a screw-on lid. That's me being ridiculous. I think that's a regular Pilot cartridge. I'm not going to go digging through my cartridges. So here's what we're going to do. Alright. I'm assuming this is how it goes in. Boom. Boy, it's filling that feed up quick. So pop this cartridge in here. We'll put it back together. And then we'll set it aside somewhere. And we'll let it do its thing, and at the end of the video we'll come back and write on it. Hopefully I remember to do that. So, moving on to the next topic. Let me get some stuff out of the way that I don't have wrote down here. I was listening to a podcast, the Art of Manliness podcast, probably like a month ago. And he had Roland Allen on there. Did not know who that was, but now I do. Who wrote this book called The Notebook, A History of Thinking on Paper. And I listened to that podcast and they were talking about some of the things in the book, and I'm like, gotta have it. Gotta have it. So I got it. I have not read it yet, obviously. And my plan is, as of yesterday when I thought of it, I'm reading the bullet journal method. It's by my bed. And I probably read like 2-3 chapters a week. Like, it's not like an everyday thing. So I'm reading through The Hobbit and not The Hobbit, Fellowship of the Ring. Read through Fellowship of the Ring, and I think after I finish Fellowship of the Ring, I'm going to finish, whatever I got left, and like dedicate time to finishing that one, and then jump into the Two Towers. And then after I finish the Two Towers, jump into this and finish this up before I go on to Return of the King. So that's the plan. We'll see how time helps me with that. It might just fly by faster than I think. Anyhow, another thing I wanted to point out, because I was watching a YouTube video before I started this, and I thought of this after the last Ramblethon that we did. I say a lot about the girly planner channels, okay? How I want to show the manly side of notebooks and pens. And not saying there ain't men that don't do it, but I feel like I'm manlier than they are. Some of them. So I wanted to show the manlier side of things. And I say a lot about the girly planner channels. But that don't mean I don't watch them. That don't mean that I don't like those channels. Just because they're doing, their girly thing, don't mean I don't like them. Let me get this open without spraying myself. There we go. I was going to make tea or coffee, but I just ate dinner. And it's getting warm in Florida, if you didn't know. This is usually my go-to. During the summer, I take this to work instead of coffee. Because, I don't leave my air-conditioned house, get in my air-conditioned truck, and go to my air-conditioned job. When I get to work, the warehouse is usually like 80, like in the summertime. And it's like up around 92, 95 in the afternoon. So these are my morning jam. And I found this Cinnabon one. Wanted to try it. Had to try it. Anyway, what was I saying? The girly planner channels, I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to, I want to say it's either Seaweed Kisses or Key Lime Ink. Maybe Key Lime Ink is the one I'm subscribed to. But I've watched, those videos pop up, my algorithm puts them on my thing. Before I started watching this video, I was watching Rachel in Theory. Last night I watched Ingrid Ellis video she did. About commonplace notebooks. I think that's her name spelled with a Y. So I think it's Ingrid. Just guessing. So I didn't want y'all to think like I'm on a tirade crusade against the girly planning channel. So I actually watch them when they have some decent that they're talking about. Now if it's like a plan with me, like hard pass on that one. But when they got a good video, I'll watch them. So let's get into my first topic. Well, our first topic was the Platinum Preppy. Second topic, I bought these, and the funny thing is, since I bought these, I've ordered more. Just not these, different ones. Field Notes, I kind of already talked about these in a previous video. Field Notes Vintage Edition. And y'all know I rant and rave about Field Notes all the time, because I don't really think they're pleasant to write in. Not that they don't serve a purpose, and they serve that purpose well. However, they released these, and I was watching a video about them, and dude was talking, I think it was Notability? No, Blank First Page. I think it was Blank First Page. He was talking about them, I think. And the textured cover, the cream colored paper, which, you know, ain't going to show up on camera, but I'll show you anyway. And the little design on the cover, I was like, okay, the textured covers got me intrigued. So I ordered a 3-pack, and I thought to myself, I'm kind of whooping it on, you know, my mini field journal here, and I got this refined notebook, which is not a whole lot of pages. I think it's the thinnest one in here, maybe. So I'm kind of rocking and rolling on that, just training myself, because I can't stand to waste a page. But that's exactly what I'm doing with this book, is I don't care. Like, I'm going to, like, look at this. It's all my topics for the March Ramblethon. And over here, 2 pages back, all my topics for the March Ramblethon. So on here, I wrote them down as they came to my mind. And then here, I wrote them down like in the order I want to talk about them, so that they would make more sense when I'm doing the video. So I'm forcing myself to be okay with wasting pages. Like, it's okay. So once I finish this refined notebook, we're going to take all these out and fill it with these vintage field notes. And it's going to be awesome. All right? It's going to be awesome. Now, when I bought those, you know how the cycle works. They sent me a coupon for $5 off. And I'm like, I don't want to buy any more field notes. I don't really use them that much. I don't need to buy them. However, sent me a coupon. So I'm like, I've always wanted to try their bigger, I don't know what they call it. Even though I was just looking at it last night. I don't know what they call it, but it's their field notes, but they make a bigger version of it. So I ordered them. I ordered them last night with my $5 off, which basically just got me free shipping. And so those are on the way. And another company that got me with a coupon was Lockbee. Yeah, they sent me this card, thank you card, for reviewing their products on their on my YouTube channel. So that was kind of cool. But they sent me a coupon because I left a review. Now, I'm not a review person. I don't mean review videos. Obviously, I do those all the time. But I'm not a go to a website and leave a review of a product that I bought. Like you know, like the meme says, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay? I ain't got time to go back and review all the products I bought. And I decided to do it because they sent me an email about it, and it looked like a simple. That's another reason I don't go review products that I bought. It's not always a simple process. But theirs seemed pretty simple, so I clicked on it, went and left the review, even took some pictures and left the pictures. And they're like, thank you for leaving a review. Here's a $10 coupon. I'm like, now I got to buy something because you gave me a coupon. So I almost bought the pocket journal. You know, like I did the DelGuard video about their pocket journal, how it was a cheap alternative to the Lockbee, but I've never actually had the Lockbee. So I was like, well, maybe I should order that. I was like, nah, why don't I get something that I'm more likely to use? So I ordered the Venture Pouch. And I figure I can put a bunch of pins and what it looks like it can hold a lot. So there ain't no telling what I'm going to put in there. But we'll let you know what happens when that comes in. We'll do a video on that. The most anticipated topic apparently for this month's Ramblethon is Mildliners. Everybody wants to know what I think of the mild. Here's the ones I ain't used yet. Let me get the one out of my bag. So I got the, I'm kind of old school because when it comes to highlighters, I like yellow. It's like classic color that you put in a Bible, because that's mainly what I'm going to use highlighters for. So I got the yellow one I've been toting around, and I'll show you the difference if I can without giving away my journal. Let me cover it. Let me find out how to cover up my journal here so y'all can't read my personal thoughts. The camera probably ain't gonna focus. Let me get up here and make it focus. So that is regular yellow, like a regular zebra, I can't remember what they're called, highlighter. And this, that is a Mildliner. So it's like a pale, which is, I knew that going in, that's kind of why I bought them. Try them out, see what why everybody likes them so much. It's like a pale yellow, and I'm assuming the rest of these are going to be pale as well. I've not tried it in a Bible, but we'll do that right now. So here's my Bible. Y'all saw in the Bible overconsumption, or the overconsumption video I did about Bibles. If you watched that, if you were cool. If you were not cool, then you didn't watch it. But this is a Thomas Nelson single column verse by verse for y'all Bible nerds out there. So I've not written anything in this Bible. What did I just do with that marker? Found it. So I'll get the DJI out so y'all can get a bird's eye view of what this is going to look like. Probably should let that light on there. I'm going to just highlight John 3:16 because that's pretty safe one. Pretty safe one to highlight there. There it is. Alright, let's see if I can highlight with one hand while the other hand holds the camera. In fact, I'm going to use the skinny end because I have not tried that. I've not tried that out yet. And I've had these that got the skinny end, and I use those. I find that underlining the verse is kind of better than highlighting it. Alright, let's see here. This is going to be difficult. I'm just going to underline it. There you go. Let me get you a light. Hopefully y'all can see that. So there you go. The Mildliners. I dig it. I don't know if I'm going to use these other colors. I want to. I want to find out a way to. I do want to bullet journal at some point. I've done and talked about it before, how I've tried bullet journaling and it just wasn't for me. That's why I'm reading the book, so I can learn exactly how the method works and see if I can incorporate it into my life. And when I do, you know, I'm not going to draw pictures and put washi tape and stickers, and well, I might put a sticker or two, but I ain't going to do all that mess. But I might use these to color code different things, because I got ideas. I got ideas. There's your Mildliners. I dig them. I know apparently there's like a ton of colors out there. I got like the basic, you know, just dip my toe in there and see if I like it. So we'll find out. Next up, finished notebook. I told y'all previously that I was about to finish my work notebook. I know it's a work notebook. You know, it's not a huge accomplishment like when you finish a journal or something like that. But I finished the notebook, okay? I got half empty notebooks laying all over this room, so the fact that I finished one is a major accomplishment. And I figured I cleaned up Saturday, because apparently now that I have figured out a way to get my Sunday school lessons done to where I don't have to spend all day Saturday on them, I don't really know what to do on Saturday with time to myself. So I end up cleaning. And I went through and I was looking for something. Like I said, I finished this notebook. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go get another blank one. Only problem was this drawer was full of notebooks, TNs, passport TNs, all the field notes. I got them up here looking all nice and pretty on my bookend. So I went through all my notebooks and I organized them up, put them in my stationery tote, and it occurred to me, like, maybe they would like to see my stationery tote. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll give you a quick overview of what I got going on in here. I used to have these Rubbermaid 3-drawer things in the closet, but they're like really flimsy, and I've had them for like 10 years, so they were starting to collapse on the top and whatnot. So I bought these last year sometime, and some of this stuff in here is old as dirt. We got this thing full of binder clips. Ain't that what they call them? Binder clips. What is this? A blank. This I actually put in here last night because it goes with something else in here. Anyway, this is the one I finished, my work notebook, where I write down all the installers, the job they got, and this thing evolved over time a little bit. Installer, job they got, and how much pad they're getting. Look at that. He was getting 3 rolls of Merlot pad. We haven't had Merlot pad in stock in a hot minute. So, finished. And then I took it and I got a blank one, another one that's lined. And I didn't put a pin loop on it. I almost did. But then I remembered I had this magnetic one that I showed y'all. So I put that on my TN. This is that thing that people suggest that I use. Lauren Phelps Designs and Alicia Plans. And I was actually going to use it again. But that Sterling ink planner that I got, it won't fit in the sleeve here. It might would if I like really worked at it, but I didn't want to mess it up. So there's that. There's my zipper pocket I took out. Should probably take these tracks out. This thing, I got 2 beefs with it. The zipper is absolute hot garbage. The zipper on it is terrible. And it doesn't feel good to touch. Like, it says it's canvas. I'm like, if it is canvas, it's the worst canvas I've ever seen. I got these Expo dry erase markers my mom got me. Or she works at a school. Someone gave them to her. And my bookmark out of my Lockbee. One of them. Bunch of random Paper Republic. This is like a cheap Walmart field notes I bought a million years ago. These pen loops I said I don't like. Book darts. If y'all have book darts, you should get some. Because it's like $5. I want to say $5 or $10 and you get 50 of them. And they're pretty awesome. My original Moleskine Daily that I used the last half of 2023, and then the other Moleskine Daily that I used for the first half of 2024. I'm never going to get those back in there the way I had them. a million legal pads that I have for some reason. Then I got my traveler's notebook inserts. These are planners. The cheap planners I bought off Amazon, and then the one in the middle is the other half of the sterling ink one that I'm using right now. I put it in the middle so the binder clip wouldn't mess it up. These are blank. Let's see if I can fit a third one in here, because that's what this one I found is. So I have 3 blank, unlined, undotted pen inserts, and I don't have a clip big enough to put on them. Ah, it worked. So there you go. And then I got some other, what's this? A square grid, and that's the used one. That's the used one. And some other spiral bound, some notebooks, jump bands, padded envelopes. What we got in there. So there you go. Quick tour of my stationery box. And then I put some more stuff in the shoe box, but I can't remember what it was I put in there. Yeah, I knew I should have changed that battery out. Anyhow, moving on. We're not making good time here. Book progress. I haven't made all that great progress this month. I think I have written 2 paragraphs, and I haven't put it on the computer yet. They're just in the notebook, so got a ways to go there. And it's like I'm at work, I ain't got nothing to do. Like today by like 11, like I was like done with my work, and I practiced my tin whistle, which you're going to hear in a minute, and wrote a poem yesterday, journaled yesterday, wrote a haiku yesterday. And then I'm like, well, I could get my notebook out and sit in my, I got like a lawn chair in the warehouse for when the weather ain't, terrible. I'll sit outside my office instead and listen to the birds chirp and all that stuff. I was like, I could get my book out and start writing on my book. And then I was like, oh, but I could start reading too, or I could do this too. And the book never seems to get done. I need to focus on it. Bullet journaling, it's going to save me, perhaps. And now I want to talk about my next fountain pen, because I got this new thing I showed y'all, and it's got room for other pens on it. Here's the thing. I guess everybody has their own grail pen. Like people want a Mont Blanc, such and such, whatchamadoodad. I don't know much about them. I just know they're expensive. But you'll see videos, people talking about their grail pen. The holy grail. Pen they've always wanted. And the pen I've always wanted since I started, caring about fountain pens like 2 years ago, was a Pilot Vanishing Point. And it's expensive. It's like $200-something. At least last time I checked it was. But I'm like, I love click pens. I love them. I like just grabbing a pen, click, write, click, put it away. I don't love capped, but most fountain pens are capped, except for the Vanishing Point. Now, I can't afford a Vanishing Point. Could I buy one? Yes. But spend $200 on a pen? Ugh. Like that's kind of at this point, that's kind of a reach. You know what I'm saying? But there's cheaper alternatives. There's Jinhao has theirs. Who else? Mahjong? Is it Mahjong? I think has theirs. I know Endless Stationery just came out with one. I'm pretty sure this is probably expensive though. So that's my question for you. If maybe you might have some experience with a click fountain pen. Kind of like the Vanishing Point, like maybe the Jinhao or the Mahjong. I have them wrote down here somewhere, but there ain't no telling where I put that notebook. Yeah, I probably threw it away. I don't know where it's at. So, what would you recommend? I think it's Seaweed Kisses, channel I mentioned earlier. She's talking a lot about the Jinhao 10. She apparently has a bunch of them, so that might be one worth looking into. But I don't know, y'all let me know in the comments. I want a fountain pen that clicks. It's my jam. So what videos do I got coming up? I got the video I'm making about creativity, which I have not started yet. I've already scripted it out. But if you watched my video last year where I took my poem that I wrote and I made it into like a short film, it's going to kind of be like that. It's going to be like 3 minutes long video where I try my best to be cinematic to my limited ability to do so. So I got shot list I got lined up. I got to record some shots, B-roll kind of thing, put it all together with my voiceover and make it happen. So that one's coming up. That one's going to take, it's crazy for such a short video because I'm thinking it's going to be about 3 minutes long, but it's going to take way longer than that to put it together. I got a video I'm going to do on why not to use a fountain pen, like reasons you should not use a fountain pen. This came to me in one of those late night sessions in bed when I couldn't sleep. So that's 2 that I know of off the top of my head that we got coming up. I don't know when because my truck is apparently broke down. So I got to figure out what's wrong with that. So I don't know how many videos is going to be coming out in the next week. So, because I really need to figure out what's going on with my truck. Especially because when it gets hot, I'm going to want that AC. The Ranger, been driving the Ranger and it does not have AC. So now let's try out the Platinum Preppy. Where's me some paper? I used to have more of these. There was a thrift shop that opened in my town, and it was only open for like a year or 2. And I went in there one day, like, let's see what they got, and they had these Army Reserve notepads, and I bought like all the ones that they had. They had like 3 or 4 of them in there, and I don't remember how much they wanted for them, but it was cheap, so I bought a bunch of them. I think this is my last one. I might have used up the rest of them. Before I do this, let me get the camera so y'all can see what I'm doing. All right. All right, I kind of like it. Yeah, I kind of dig it. I might put this on, it would help if I hit record. All right, well, I forgot to hit record. So, I guess y'all kind of missed my initial reactions. But I dig it. It's a little scratchy, but I don't hate that. My Lamy Safari is scratchy too, and that don't bother me. It's a little scratchy, but not terrible. And the ink flow seems to be pretty good. So I'll probably slap that in something eventually. But Platinum Preppy for $6. Now I haven't given it any long-term usage, but if it continues to write like this, because you pay $6 for a pen, or a fountain pen, you expect it to skip. It's probably going to skip, but it didn't skip. If it keeps on not skipping, that'll definitely be a good $6 spent. we are way terrible on time. I don't know. We're at 40 minutes. I don't know if I can. There's only so much chopping I can do on it. So let's get to the questions. Ask me anything. I threw it up there. Said if y'all got any kind of questions you want to ask, to comment, and y'all did more than I thought you would. Favorite book? I didn't write down who asked these questions, so hopefully you remember what question you asked. I probably should have done that, but I forgot. Favorite books and authors. This answer is not going to knock your socks off. It's not going to be a hot take or anything. When I was young, did I mention it before? I'm pretty sure I did. How my granny used to buy me Hardy Boys books when I was a kid. And then when I was 13, I read my first big boy novel, which was Jurassic Park. So I got into Stephen King. I was reading I've read The Shining. I've read Needful Things. I probably can't remember all the books I've read from him. I've read most of the Dark Tower series. It was up in the closet there. I got 2 books left to read on the Dark Tower series. I feel like there's one more I'm missing. But I read a bunch of Stephen King when I was younger. And I just loved his books. I know as far as like a human being, he's not the greatest human being. But I like his books, I like his writing style. And at some point when I decided like, hey, maybe I could be a writer, I started reading books on writing. And his book, which is called On Writing, where he talks about, his career and being a writer, that's probably the best one I read. Best book I read on writing was his book. And it was encouraging to see how many times he got rejected before someone published his first book, which I think was Carrie, if I'm not mistaken. And also, after Stephen King, I got into Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy books are fantastic. I feel like if you know somebody who wants to learn about government and how it works, I feel like a Tom Clancy book is the way to do it. Not because it's not about that. It's a fiction book about a fictional story and fictional characters, but the way he describes the ongoings of government and stuff, like, I'm like, yeah, that's what goes on. So Tom Clancy books, I've read so many of his. I can't even remember all the ones I've read of his, but I've definitely read Hunt for Red October. What's the one? Executive Decision, and some other books that were like before and after that one. I read a bunch of those ones around that time, and Tom Clancy books. And after at a certain age, I don't remember what age it was, I started reading nonfiction, but recently, the last couple of years, I've tried to get back into fiction again. But one author, I read 2 of his books. Cormac McCarthy, The Road is a fantastic book, and the movie is good too. No Country for Old Men is absolutely terrible. I hated that book. I watched the movie, hated the movie too. I just thought I don't understand. Like, his writing style, like, he doesn't use punctuation. Like, he doesn't use quotation marks. You just kind of got to figure that out when you're reading it. So I like his writing style. The Road, super good book. No Country for Old Men I thought was absolutely terrible. But, I mean, if you liked it, you liked it. I just didn't care for it. But, I mean, there's probably some other authors. If I had all my books in one place, I could tell you about them, but they're scattered all over the place. Next question. By the way, they're hanging on the board over here. What do I enjoy most about tubing? I'm assuming you mean YouTubing. So I'm an introvert. and I'm into various things. I'm into notebooks. I'm into cameras apparently, because my hobbies ain't expensive enough. I'm into Celtic culture the last couple of years, wearing kilts and listening to Celtic folk music, going to the festivals. I'm into working on my truck, lowriders. I mean, that's not really what it is, but that's what people call it when they see it. You like them lowriders, huh? Like, technically it's not a lowrider, but yes. I'm into things that most people are not into. So there's nobody for me to talk to about them. Like, I have a best friend who lives down the street. I've known him since I was 11 or 12. I've talked to him about most of it because he's into the Celtic thing too. We both got similar interests. Obviously, we've been friends for like 35 years, so you gotta have something in common to be friends for that long. But not everything. Like, some of the things I'm into, like, I don't know anybody else that likes this stuff. I don't know anybody else who loves pens and notebooks and stuff like that. So YouTube is a way for me to come on here. I can't see y'all, so I can just be myself. If we was all in a room together, it's completely different. I'd be a lot more quiet than I am on here. But y'all aren't here. I can't see you. So I can be myself, be ridiculous and dumb, and interact with people, because y'all comment, thankfully. Y'all comment on the videos, which, by the way, is the most important thing you can do to help the channel grow. According to all the experts, the YouTube algorithm is looking for interaction. So if your video gets a lot of interaction, YouTube's algorithm goes, oh, look at that video getting a lot of interaction, and they start pushing it out to more people. So y'all comment, and we talk in the comments sometimes. I reply to your comment. I try to. If I read your comment and nothing comes to mind, then I just like it and move on with my day. But I read all of them, and I get to interact with other people who are into the same things as me, and other YouTubers that comment on my videos. One of the cool things about YouTube, and one of the things that the experts say, if you're going to have a YouTube channel, you need to make friends with people who also have YouTube channels. They're like, it'll help keep you motivated and help you have someone to bounce ideas off, talk to, blah, 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 all that stuff. So one of the cool things about when I had the podcast for 9 years is there's probably people watching this video that I met when I did the podcast, and I'm friends with people on Facebook that I met when I did the podcast, because they also had a YouTube channel and they watched my videos and commented, and I watched their videos and commented, and we ended up becoming friends, and we're friends on Facebook still. So it's good to meet people that are into the same things I am, because there's not any of that around here. Next question, go-to fountain pen ink. I wish I could help you on this one, but I only have 3 of them. And the only reason I have 3 is because I bought this pen, the Hongdian, I think. So I bought this pen when I first was buying fountain pens, and I didn't know it had a converter in it. I thought it was a cartridge pen. Let me change my battery. Never again. We'll put a full charge on it next time. So I bought this pen. I thought it was a cartridge pen because it was cheap. And when I got it, I found out it had a converter in it. I'm like, well, crap. I don't have any ink. So I did a little quick research about what's a good black ink that's cheap. And ended up getting Pelikan 4001. Brilliant black. So that was the first one I got, and I've used it a few times, filling up this bad boy. And then I think we did that video last year where I said I'd be into trying out brown inks, and I got this little whatever it's called. Cafe de Isles. I thought it had a name. But anyway, it's coffee brown. We'll just call it coffee brown. And then my most recent one that y'all saw me was the Wearingles Human Issue. And if I, obviously this is the best out of my favorite. This is like, even if I get another color, I would like to try another one of their colors, because this ink is just comes out. I got it in 2 pens. I got it in this pen, which it writes darker in this pen than it does in my Metropolitan. But in my Metropolitan, it comes out exactly what I was looking for. So the Wearingles is probably my go-to, but like I said, I only have 3. Mechanical pencils and lead. I'm not a pencil person, as we discussed when I did the Blackwing video. But, let me see here. This was the first one, and that's because this is a Zebra 701. I have the pen somewhere. I have 2 of them actually. But I had the pen, and I was like, well, they make a pencil, so I might as well get it. So I got the pencil, and I tried to use it. It's okay. And I got the lead, because I'm like, well, maybe I was talking to a guy who he uses pencils like I use pens, like he uses pencils all the time. And I got to think, it's like, maybe the reason I don't like mechanical pencils is because I don't like light graphite. So I did some research on different graphites. Ended up getting this 0.7 2B. 2B because it was darker than regular lead. At least that's what I heard. But I still didn't love it. And then I got this Zebra DelGuard, and I think this only holds 1 ink or 1 graphite. It's not like one of them ones where you put a bunch of different ones in it, and then when it's done you just get another one out. It only holds 1, but the if I'm not mistaken, this is the one where it rotates. Is this the one that rotates? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like this is the one, when you pick it up off the page, it rotates the thing so that you're always writing on the sharp side. I believe that is the case. So this one's okay. It's definitely lighter. I dig this one. And I wrote all this I say is it's only like 3 pages or something. I wrote a short story, I think 2. Yeah, I wrote 2 short stories in this notebook with this pencil. And it's okay, but like I said, I'm just not a pencil person. They just don't do it for me, because I like darkness. I like to be able to see what I'm writing, and pencils just don't write dark enough for me. Bible and prayer journals. Homeboy asked about so you got all your journals you write in? What about Bible and prayer journals? And this is where y'all look out the fact that I'm a hoarder. I have my original prayer journal right here, and if y'all want to know how old this is, the first entry, July 22nd, 2008. 2008. I'm sorry, July 21st, 2008. And this goes, I actually skipped. So I wrote 2008 to 2009. There was like a big gap. 2010 I wrote in it. There was a big jump at some point. 2011, 2012, 2013. I wrote in it longer than I thought. 2016, I wrote in it. 2017. Yes, 2017, and then jumped to 2021. I wrote in it, 2022. So it's only that many pages of the whole notebook, but it covers like several years because I would go a long time before writing in it. And the way I do it is just write God a letter. Just write my entry as if I'm writing God a letter and putting in there all the things I want to say. Because here's the thing, I will never recommend that this take the place of prayer, of actual you praying to God. This does not take the place of that, in my opinion. You need to exercise that muscle. You need to get good at praying to God. And the best way to do that is practice. Get on your knees. Not always, but bow down, close your eyes, however you want to do it, however you can do it in the situation, and pray to God. Talk to God. He wants to talk to you. But this is a good supplement. If you're like me, when you're praying, that is the time where the devil wants to start dropping all kinds of things in your head, all kinds of distractions. You'll be praying God, asking God, petitioning God, and Satan to be like, hey, you got that thing tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and leave me alone. Like, I'm trying to pray. But all this stuff will stop popping in your head. So that's where prayer journaling comes into play. You can sit there and write it down, and you're not distracted by other mess going on in your head. And if you are, you don't lose track of what you were talking about because it's on the paper and you can see it. And then this was not so much a journal, but I started writing a sermon. I was sermons in here, even though I don't never preach. I was going to write sermons in here. I got further than I thought, I'll tell you that. In this red moleskin. I never got through with that, and of course, once you've written in a notebook, you can't use it for anything else. And then this one, Bible study. So, not to get too personal, but in 2022, y'all know this, I've talked about it before. My wife left in 2022. I would like to not get divorced, but if I'm going to get divorced, come on, let's go already. But when she left, I told my pastor, I was like, listen, I need to step down from teaching this Sunday school class because obviously I need to work on my marriage. I've been neglecting it apparently, and I got to get my house in order, and I need to focus on that and not teach Sunday school. So I stepped down from teaching my Sunday school class after, 22? And then 23 started. And at this point, I kind of realized, she ain't coming back. I'm pretty sure she ain't. And I was like, okay, my New Year's resolution going into 23. Was it 23? I think it was 24. Going into 24. So I'm like, when I was teaching in Sunday school class, I have to study every week to prepare for the class and get my lesson together and stuff like that. But since I wasn't teaching the class anymore, and I wasn't in Bible college because I graduated Bible college in 22, I'm like, now I don't have a reason, an outside influence for why I need, in Bible college, obviously, if I want to pass the test, I got to study the Bible. And in order to do Sunday school, I got to study the Bible to get my lesson together. And now I don't have those. So I decided I'm going to take this notebook and I'm going to study the Bible for myself. And what I did was I went and found a preacher that I like, Brother Chad Reese. And I went to his YouTube channel, which is Lighthouse Baptist Church, I want to say, somewhere up in Michigan. And I started watching one of his series. He teaches, Sunday night maybe at his church. And they live stream it and all that stuff. But I went back into his YouTube channel. He had taught a series on the pre-tribulation rapture. So I started going through it. one week I'll watch one, take notes. Next week I'd watch another one, take notes. And I got, how many do I got here? This was January of 24. So yeah, I was right. I got all the way to part 7 in his series. And then I got called to teach again at church. The guy that took over the class for me was leaving the church and needed a teacher. And at that point, it had been 2 years since my wife left. So I'm like, I guess I'm ready to come back. So I took the class back over again about a year ago and been teaching it ever since. So that's some examples of how a prayer journal, just like I'm writing the Lord a letter. Anyway, this is going to be the longest Ramblethon of all time. I hope y'all actually watched it to the end. But I'm not going to cut it off without giving y'all some tin whistle. I learned when I first started playing the tin whistle that if I don't know the song in my head, like I can't play it. Like I can know the song, like, oh yeah, I know that song, but if I don't know it like I've heard it multiple times, I'm not going to be able to play it. So what I did this week was I knew what song I wanted to play. So I listened to it 20 times. So I went through Spotify and I started listening to every version of this song that they had and trying to find one to put on my Celtic music playlist. And there were so many. And fat chance that my computer is actually going to work. I should have just done this on the laptop. Luckily I can edit all this out. Come on, laptop. Do what this piece of junk can't do. About to pay off my camera in a couple months, and it looks like I'm going to be financing a computer. Anyway, I mean, if we're going to ramble, we might as well ramble out my stupid slow computer too. We're going to sing. We're not going to sing at all. We're not going to do none of that. We're going to play Star of the County Down. And what happened was after I listened to this song like 20 times this week, I sat down, I want to say it was yesterday. I sat down yesterday, pulled up the tabs, and it was just like easy, super easy. So I'm going to play this on my shush whistle. Hopefully it works out. I'm still trying to figure out the breath control on this because it's a shush. So you don't need to blow on it as hard as you do the other ones. That worked out pretty good. Probably would have sounded better if I'd have done it on my my sweet tone from Clark, because I've had this the longest, and I have two. I have one at work, and I was playing it today, and my boss's wife got to hear me playing it because she snuck in the warehouse when I wasn't looking. So I'm a little better on this one because I've had it the longest, but there you go. I have been Stormin' Norman. I have said things. Y'all have a good evening.